Good morning, dear hearts. We are on lesson 38. Please subscribe. There's nothing my holiness cannot do. We are continuing in our thread of holiness. We have another lesson tomorrow also about holiness. And but before we get started with 38, I want to go back for just a moment to lesson 26. And remember, this course is completely consistent, and one lesson builds upon the next and upon the next. So going backwards to come back forwards makes perfect sense, and I think it's something you do when you're weaving a loom anyway. And we are weaving a spiritual tapestry for all of us. So my attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. The thoughts that I have, these attack thoughts, are coming from my limited mind. Remember, we've been talking about limited and unlimited mind. The attack thoughts. Now, who do I attack? I always attack myself. That's the only one there is to attack. We also will find out we only forgive ourselves. So without these attack thoughts, then I would recognize who I am. I would recognize my invulnerability, and my invulnerability I have because of my holiness, which was given, bestowed to all of us as part of our birthright, because we are God's child and we are within the mind, the unlimited, holy mind of God. Today's lesson, your holiness reverses all the laws of the world. And remember that for later. Spoiler alert. It is beyond every restriction. Your holiness is beyond every restriction of time, space, distance, limits of any kind. It's unlimited. Your holiness is totally unlimited in its power because it establishes you as a son of God, a child of God, at one with the mind of his creator. So because we are at one with that mind, this is where our holiness emanates from. We cannot be apart from our source, and we cannot be apart from our holiness. It is given to us. It is ours to recognize and to have. Through your holiness, the power of God is made manifest. Through your holiness, the power of God is made available. And there's nothing the power of God cannot do. Your holiness then can remove, this is important, all pain, can end all sorrow, and can solve all problems. Now, ending the pain, the sorrow, and the problems is not of the body. All of these things are healing the mind of the child of God. And there is nothing our holiness cannot do in healing our mind. It can do so in connection with yourself and with anyone else. It is equal in its power to help anyone because it is equal in its power to save anyone. Holiness is like our superpower. I think with lesson 26, I mentioned that, our invulnerability is our superpower. And the only thing that is like our kryptonite is our attack thoughts, our ego thoughts. That is what seems to limit what we are. If you are holy, so is everything God created. And we are holy because God created us. He created all things holy, and all things he created are holy because you are. In today's exercises, we apply the power of your holiness to all problems, difficulties, or suffering in any form that you happen to think of in yourself or in someone else. We will make no distinctions because there are no distinctions. There's no separation. So we're not going to make any separation between us and the rest of the sonship or anything else that we see. This whole world is one. There is only oneness. 4 practice periods, again, as yesterday, 3 to 5 minutes each. Repeat the idea, close your eyes, search your mind for any sense of loss or unhappiness of any kind that you see, and try to make as little distinction because there aren't any. Identify the situation specifically and also the name of the person concerned, and it can be yourself. Use this form in applying the idea for today, and here's our practice phrases. In the situation involving blank in which I see myself, there is nothing that my holiness cannot do. In the situation involving blank in which blank sees themselves, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. So my holiness can help heal others, not only myself, but then again, that is me. There is no separation between me and the one I'm seeing outside of myself, although that's not really true. From time to time, you may want to vary the procedure. We're given another phrase to use that I particularly like. There is nothing my holiness cannot do because the power of God lies in it. This is what our holiness is. So in any situation that we see, ourselves or someone else, what we are choosing to do is to insert holiness into that situation, into that problem, so that it can heal. The power of holiness is the power of healing wholly, completely. Salvation and our holiness are linked together, as yesterday's lesson spoke of, that your holiness is the salvation of the world. Tomorrow we'll also deal with that. Holiness and salvation, in fact, are one. We find our freedom in both. The purpose of today's exercises is to begin to instill in you a sense that you have dominion over all things because of what you are, not who you are, not that little small I identity that you may have placed upon yourself, but what you are. You are sinless, guiltless, perfect. You are the child of God. You are one with your Creator. This is what you are. This is what we are. And then, of course, in the shorter applications, if anything comes up, use, that there's nothing my holiness cannot do. We are not these little pieces of flesh, and we get to understand that. Our holiness is beyond all restrictions because it comes from God, and there are no restrictions upon our Father. So we are unlimited. We are from the unlimited mind of God. This is how we get to start to understand who we are and how we start to identify our true self. And yes, that is with a big S. And that is it for today. I hope it helped. So please like, please share, please subscribe if you haven't. Please comment. I think I'm almost caught up, with the comments. And smile. These are all such good news lessons and are hopefully elevating our thoughts and bringing them closer to wholeness and to truth. Smile, breathe in, release everything, and just pray that these ideas will come quickly and they will be shared completely. Namaste.